From the News Hub here in Accra, this is News 360. I am Isa Moni.
And I am Solins Rose Quarte. Coming up in the bulletin this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by...
Court refuses Kwabena Police Station attackers bail.
Fisheries and Aquaculture Development Ministry threatens to close down landing beaches which do not merit premix fuel supply.
Also in the bulletin this evening, stench from a drain behind the Ejusud Methodist Primary and JHS in Ashanti region affecting enrollment and compromising on safety of pupils.
And coming up in the business tonight, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kufinti, insists it will go ahead with implementation of the excise stamp policy on March 1 following extensive engagement with stakeholders.
And in entertainment this evening, Media General secures exclusive broadcasting rights for this year's Vodafone Ghana Music Awards.
Later in international news, flash protests for and against secession from Spain. Mary Spanish King Felipe's visit to Barcelona to inaugurate an international exhibition at cell phone producers.
All these are more, plus some sports news coming up in the next 1 hour. Stay with us. While you're watching News 360, let's start off the bulletin from the courts as an Accra Circuit Court has refused to grant bail to the 10 accused persons in the Kwabena police station attack after applications by their lawyers. The court, presided over by Justice Abuaje Tando, instead resorted to expeditious trial, issuing a stern warning not to tolerate any excuses from both prosecution and defense lawyers.
On February 7, counsel for the fourth accused person, lawyer Bernardo Redu, filed an application for bail. The application was, however, moved on February 13, after which counsels for the 5th, 7th, 10th and 12th accused persons made an oral application praying the court to grant their client bail. The prosecution opposed the bail application, insisting the accused persons, if granted bail, would not avail themselves for trial. Delivering the ruling on the bail application, the judge said he had considered that Section 96(7) of Act 30 has been repealed, making all offences bailable. He added the critical issue is whether the accused persons will avail themselves for trial if granted bail. If not, bail must be refused. He maintained that, in the matter before the court, the accused persons were alleged to have rescued as well as escaped lawful custody. Justice Abuaje Tando said the liberty of some individuals could be curtailed for their own protection as well as the community.
The court held that after looking and considering all the circumstances in the case and also the allegations before the court, he is of the view that bail should be refused and instead resort to speedy trial or expeditious trial. He also issued a stern warning to prosecution that he will not tolerate any excuses. They should come ready with their witnesses. He therefore set the 9th, the 12th, the 14th and the 15th of March for trial to commence.
Meanwhile, counsel for the fourth accused person and female amongst the 10 accused persons expresses disappointment with the court decision to refuse bail and hinted of heading to the High Court for bail.
As a lawyer for an accused person who has a 6-year-old boy to take care of, I was of the view that looking at her circumstances, it warrants granting her bail because definitely she was going to come back to face trial. That is why I've been engaged as a lawyer, not to prove only her innocence, but her reputation as well. I'm sure I'll meet my client again. We might go higher and see if the court will be favorable to her.
And as we remain in court, one of the accused persons in the case in which Aisha Wang and some other 4 Chinese nationals are standing trial for engaging in illegal mining has defied the court order, asking him to file his medical report to the registrar. The order followed the absence from court on February 19, compelling the judge to adjourn the case.
Aisha Wan told the court Lu Qiju was taken ill on February 17 and subsequently sent to the hospital for medical attention. The judge, Justice Charles Akobaden, ordered the accused person to file a medical report from an accredited government hospital to prove he was indeed ill before February 26. However, in court on Monday, though all 5 accused persons were present, the judge noted that there was no record showing the submission of the report. The defense counsel, lawyer Nkrabi Fadate, told the court the hospital the accused person received medical attention was a Chinese hospital and not government. That is why they could not file, adding he did not want to manufacture one. The judge further inquired if he meant the hospital was not recognized by government, but counsel for the accused persons said he could not say so. The judge therefore insisted on recording that Lu Qiju defied the court order and did not file the medical report, but asked the interpreter to tell the accused persons he wanted the court to put that information on record. Aisha Wan, however, brought out a medical report contrary to the claims of the defense counsel. The court, however, received the report and commenced cross-examination. The prosecution witness, Superintendent Ruben Abrabra of the Ghana Immigration Service, was cross-examined by the defense counsel, where he told the court they acted upon a tip-off. When asked if he saw any of the accused persons there, he answered in the negative, adding that one of his men saw the 4th accused person, Zhang Zinping, operating one of the excavators. Case has been adjourned to March 14. Aisha Wan and her compatriot were arraigned on May 9 last year for engaging in illegal small-scale mining activities at Bipotintin in the Amansia Central District of the Ashanti region, contrary to Section 99(1) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, providing mining support services without valid registration.
Now let's move on to this developing story. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has dissociated itself from comments by Member of Parliament for Odududiudu Ni Lante Vanderpoy. Now, the Member of Parliament had suggested that the NDC will free the jailed former JIDA boss, Abuga Pele, if it wins power in the 2020 polls. In a statement, the NDC said Ni Lante Vanderpoy's comments does not reflect the position of the party regarding the fight against corruption in the matter involving the conviction of Abuga Pele in particular. The party's founder, Jerry John Rawlings, has also condemned the comments by the Member of Parliament for Odududiudu. According to Jerry John Rawlings, such ideas and actions will only ensure the NDC remains in opposition for a long, long time. So let's get on the phone lines now and speak to Adam Senanu. And Adam Senanu is the co-chair of Citizens Movement Against Corruption. Adam, good evening, and thank you for contributing to our program.
Good evening to you too.
Right, Adam, the NDC has dissociated itself from the MP's comment. Will you say a good move from the party which initiated this trailer?
Yes, I would. I am happy that the party has distanced itself, because that was a very unfortunate and dangerous statement. The suggestion that the executive had influence over an independent state like the judiciary, to the extent that they could just say that when we get back to power, we will pull them out of jail, sends the wrong type of signal to well-meaning Ghanaians by and large. And it was a very, very unfortunate thing that such a seasoned politician of his caliber should be talking like that. So the party has distanced itself from it, because this was very, very, very dangerous.
Yes, but Adam, listening to Mr. Vanderpoy's statement, he didn't say how Mr. Abuga Pele would be released from prison. He didn't say it.
No, that does not matter. It's not the fact that he needed to provide details, which is in question. But to say when we come into government, we'll bring them out of jail, that already suggests a certain amount of leverage over the judiciary, over the other organs of state, such that these people would not, as it were, go through the full term that confined. And that was not good enough at all.
But some say freeing Mr. Pele will be an easy thing to do as by 2020, should NDC win power again.
No, we are not expecting any party to talk like that. I don't see what you mean that it's an easy thing to do. I mean, you are also suggesting that once an executive government is in place, they can begin to influence what happens in other organs of state. That is not acceptable.
But, Mr. Senator, are you not surprised? Political parties hardly give up their role like that. What is happening this time in NDC?
Sorry, come again.
I am saying that it is difficult for political parties to give up on their own like that. What is happening new in the NDC, the way they have jumped on Nilanti van der Poel, not giving him a chance at all? They are not supporting him. What is the issue?
I think that somebody is doing proper thinking within the party, analyzing the circumstances and knowing that Ghanaians are very, as it were, unhappy with the current state of corruption. Indeed, I was part of the GIDA panel. If you go to the GIDA report, one shouldn't be surprised at the rulings. Because these are facts, I mean, the facts that we found even when we were reviewing what had happened are enough to have sent these people to jail. So I am not surprised, and I don't think that anybody who is well-minded and has followed the history of this case should be surprised. And this is all part of the fight against corruption. So any government that is serious, any political party that understands that the people of Ghana have reached a point where we want to see the change, we want to make sure that people are held accountable, will not begin to make this kind of suggestions.
So finally, Senator, is it done? Is it that Abuga Pele cannot appeal? And if that is the case, what Nilanti van der Poel seems to be saying may be right?
No, if Abuga Pele, together with his lawyers, decide to appeal, that is fine. It should not be a political partisan thing where all of a sudden we are wondering, is it about we get executive power to release our people who have been found guilty of a crime from the jails? Is that what we are talking about? Any political party that seeks the mandate of the people on that kind of ticket is doomed. It's not the kind of party we ought to be voting for.
Right. Adam Senano, we are grateful for your time and for contributing to our news tonight. Senano is the co-chair of Citizens Movement Against Corruption.
And in other news tonight, a pungent smell from a drain behind the Ejisu Methodist Preparatory and JHS is affecting enrollment in the school. Now, school authorities say some parents have withdrawn their wards from the school due to the stench and the danger the open drain poses to their wards. A report by Beatrice Spio-Gabra.
The Ejisu Methodist Preparatory and JHS, established in 1986, currently has an enrollment of 330 students. Due to its central location, it's used to be the preferred choice for parents for their wards to reduce transportation cost. There is, however, a constant reduction in the enrollment, which, according to the head teacher, is due to the open drain behind the school. Wastewater upstream the Ejisu community passes through this drain. Solid and liquid waste upstream the Ejisu township flows through the drain and lodges behind the classroom. Head teacher of the school, Samuel Victor Nano, explained the municipal assembly abandoned the storm drain it was constructing a few years ago. He told the news team the stench from the solid and liquid waste pollutes the air and adversely affects teaching and learning.
I'll be grateful if the assembly can come continue the drain to the other side of the town for us.
A JHS pupil, Lordina Entry Terrier, said the students have to leave the classrooms and go home when the stench is unbearable. She requested the authorities to complete work on the drain to enable them have a conducive teaching and learning environment.
The bad scent from the gutter distracts us from learning, especially in the afternoon. When it just happened that we just get out, and some people even get sick because of the smell. Please, I will urge the government to come and help us.
The Superintendent Minister of the Ejisu Methodist Church, Very Reverend Ebenezer Ajamin Bedu, said the church would have continued with the project, but the cost was beyond its means.
Okay, with the children around, it's very dangerous. anything can happen, any child can fall in. We were trying to consult the Member of Parliament around this area, but all attempts have been failed.
The Ejisu Joabing Municipal Chief Executive, Beatrice Sewa Dechi, promised engineers of the Assembly would intervene by assessing the work done so far.
Let's do some education. And pupils of Dewu Samfo Municipal Assembly, JHS, study under trees after the collapse of their classroom block. They are frustrated by the constant disruption of lessons due to unfavorable weather conditions.
It's 7:20 in the morning at Dewu Samfo MA Basic School in the Ikiapim North Municipality of the Eastern Region. This is how pupils have had their lessons since April 2017, after a makeshift structure used as a classroom was demolished due to its poor state. Teaching and learning has since been held under trees. The District Assembly has provided 3 whiteboards and markers for the school and promised to put up a new classroom block for pupils. The situation is not only affecting academic performance, but enrollment. In 2017, the school scored 41.1% in the BECE, worse than previous years. Pupils want urgent action.
When it's in the noon, we always felt the hotness of the sun. It always scorches us. So we've been shifting from one place to another for a shade under the trees.
Because we are under the trees, we can't concentrate. When someone or animal is coming, we tend to look, and that disturbs us. I want the government to come and build our school for us.
The Ikiapim North Municipal Chief Executive, Dennis Abwaje, says the reconstruction of the school block has been captured in the 2018 budget.
I realized it was a very difficult situation. Sourcing for funding around that time was a bit of a challenge. But thankfully, this year, we budgeted for them. And so we are very soon going to start the processes for procuring whoever is going to get the school building up for us.
Until then, pupils must endure the hardship.
Now, a bridge linking Abisem, Yeboadawa and adjoining communities in the Eastern region is in a deplorable state. Now, school children have no option than to cross the bridge as they commute to school. A report by Yvonne Nikwe.
Abisem and Yeboadawa, predominantly farming communities in the East Achim municipality, have a population of about 1,500. Residents lamented the bridge has been in poor state for over 8 years. The metals are rusty. Logs laid by residents to fill in open spaces are rotting. School children cross the bridge to school.
When I'm crossing this bridge, I feel very scared because the bridge is breaking down. And when I'm crossing it with a car or a motor, I think I'm going to fall into the water.
When we are coming to school and we are passing through this bridge was dangerous to me and my sisters and my younger sisters. Please, we are begging the government to help us to do this bridge for us.
Residents sometimes have to alight at one end to cross the bridge before motorcycles pick them up to continue their journey. Motorcycle riders have taken the opportunity to make business because taxis hardly ply the area due to the poor state of the bridge.
Our hospital was in Sunechi. Now we
have a hospital across the bridge. When a woman is in labor, we suffer. If we don't get a vehicle, we have to carry them across the bridge.
At times, our food staff goes back. No driver is interested in passing here.
The chief of the area is disappointed. Efforts to get authorities to rehabilitate the bridge have not been successful.
Now let's talk about some sex scandals involving the Ghana Police Service. A director at the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Emmanuel Kwesi Ening, has expressed disquiet over government's handling of the alleged sex scandal against Ghanaian police peacekeepers in South Sudan. Dr. Emmanuel Ening believes there could be more to the issue than has been reported.
But until the investigation report is out, I think we should be cautious in the manner in which we report on and comment on this case.
Ghana's role in United Nations peacekeeping duties dates back to the post-independence era, with Ghana having participated in several peacekeeping duties and having performed creditably. However, Ghana's quest to maintain its status as a peacekeeping nation has hit a snag following report of sexual abuse charges being leveled against 46 Ghanaian police peacekeepers in South Sudan's internally displaced camp of Wau. The allegation came after two previous contingents participated creditably in peacekeeping missions in the same country since 2015. And the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research Director at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Emmanuel Kwesi Ening, smells foul.
Peacekeeping is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And for the major troop contributing countries and police contributing countries, there's always competition. Who gets invited into a particular peacekeeping mission? How many men and women can you send? So this is about money and power games. So it's quite a bit of a disappointment.
Dr. Ening is also unhappy about how the police is left to respond to issues raised.
That is only the IGP who's written this letter, a very great press statement that he wants to send 3 investigators to join the process. But the rest of Ghana is quiet. And for me, that surprises me.
The security analyst says structure and procedural failures, as well as discipline, could be contributing factors.
Transactional sex may be legitimate in countries that are not in conflict and where you are not doing protection of civilian duties. But in peacekeeping operations, theaters, transactional sex is criminal. So please go out there and leave your libido behind. Because you go and misbehave, you don't only disgrace yourself, you disgrace your wife, your children, your father, your mother, and above all, you disgrace this country.
Dr. Emmanuel Kwesi Ening advised the police administration to check its approach to recruitment for such missions.
Because see, when you send peacekeepers, they are like diplomats. They are representing the country. They are helping to save lives. They are helping to protect civilians. So it is not just people who wear uniforms in your name.
Now, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development has threatened to close down landing beaches across the country that do not merit the supply of premixed fuel. Now, the Sector Minister Elizabeth Afolikwe said this will prevent fisherfolk from engaging in diversion activities and the smuggling of the product. A report by Frederick Clarence Williams.
Heavily subsidized distribution and sale of premixed diesel fuel to fishermen for fishing purposes has been a major challenge since the inception of the idea in 1990. The original idea was to ensure the timely availability of the product to fisherfolk at an affordable price, but this has not been fully realized. Government spends a lot of money subsidizing premixed diesel fuel for fishermen, while those diverting and selling the product to fisherfolk at about twice the price are creating artificial shortage. Against this backdrop, the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Elizabeth Afolikwe, has inaugurated monitoring teams to supervise and oversee the effective distribution and management of premixed diesel fuel for fishermen.
There are some landing beaches that fishing activities, there are not enough fishing activities taking place there. So we are doing auditing of all landing beaches across the nation. And those that do not merit the provision of premixed fuel, we are closing them down.
She charged the police to arrest any persons or group of persons who indulge in diverting premixed diesel fuel.
We urge every regional or district police command to also take up this challenge and help us with the monitoring of the premixed fuel.
The chairman of Greater Accra Monitoring Team, Ishmael Ashiti, promised to work tirelessly to ensure the timely availability of premixed diesel fuel for fisherfolk.
I will promise the minister we'll do all that we can to make sure that we protect the premise that is meant for the region. Apart from my group who will be doing the work, I have a team also at the background who are capable of monitoring activities from far, even monitoring the monitor.
Thanks for staying with us on News 360. Time for business. My name is Nanikia Mensah-Brampa. The Vice President has warned those who have been cited by the Auditor General for misappropriating 5.4 billion cedis not to run to the presidency for cover. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia said those who attempt to seek refuge at the presidency will swiftly be handed over to the police service for prompt prosecution. Dr. Bawumia was speaking at the opening of this year's Audit Service Week celebrations here in Accra.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia recounted the 2016 Audit Service report, which cited some government agencies for paying 5.4 billion cedis to contractors for no work done.
The question we have, you found 5.4 billion from the recent audit, but how much was actually paid in the past that we don't know about for some of these ghost claims? It's a serious problem. I urge the Auditor General to sustain this exercise in order to instill discipline in public financial management at all levels of government and to deter public officers who might be contemplating to dupe the state using their unpatriotic practices.
Directors and public officers who engaged in such contracts have since failed to respond to an invitation by the Auditor General for questioning. The situation has angered the Auditor General Daniel Domlevo, who has hinted he has plans to block salaries of officials who have misappropriated government funds as from the beginning of March this year. The Vice President supports the move by the Auditor General to block their salaries and has warned them not to seek cover at the presidency.
The remedy is provided by Article 187(9) of the Constitution. The Auditor General has already told you that you should not come to him or his office. And we are also saying don't come running to the presidency. In other words, the law just says you should go to the High Court.
Meanwhile, the Auditor General Daniel Domlevo has cautioned MMDAs to stop offering bribes to auditors.
Such audit staff shall face punitive actions as dictated by Section 33 of Act 584, and same will be extended to staff of MDAs who are happy paying bribes instead of ensuring that they do the right thing.
To complete the 2017 audit report, the Auditor General has asked government to release their budgetary allocations to them.
There is the need to front-load the releases to the audit service at the start of the year because that is the peak time for audits, and the releases should not be delayed up to March, May, or June. If that happens, the audit reports may also delay, hence delaying the detection of abuses in the system.
The Vice President has since directed the Minister of Finance to release the funds this week.
Your message to government for the front loading of your budgetary releases, I think, has been heard very well and clearly by the Deputy Minister of Finance here. I am sure that when she gets back to the office, the front loading will be very frontal in her mind to make sure that we have these releases as quickly as possible.
Other speakers praised the Auditor General for showing commitment to recover all misappropriated funds. Former Auditor Generals were honored for their immense contributions to public service.
All right, so let's talk about the tax stamp and matters arising. Well, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kofi-Nti, says government is resolved on the implementation of the excise stamp policy on March 1. He said government will not turn back on its word and that it had an extensive engagement with the stakeholders of the sector, and therefore their posture on the implementation of the policy is surprising.
There is an impasse between government and stakeholders of the food and beverage manufacturing industry on the implementation of the excise stamp policy. Members of the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana say they will not comply to the policy when it comes into force on March 1. As they do not have the necessary tax stamp applicator machines, they say they need an interest-free loans from government to enable them procure the machines.
There's no law that binds me to buy the machine to affix the stamps. And therefore, if I don't buy the machine, I've not committed any crime. But I'm telling you, I don't have the money. So what do we do? That is where you have to come in and tell me the best way I can go about it and get the money. Because all the engagement that we've had, we've not heard anywhere that they are going to resource us to get the machines and then over a period you pay.
But the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kofinti, says enough is enough and government is resolved to implementing the policy on March 1st. He said government have had several engagements with the association and their posture is surprising as they keep turning back on agreements.
But then we are resolved. The Honorable Minister needs his money and we have to ensure he gets his money to run the country's agenda. So on the issue of the excise stamp, there's no going back on anything. We are going forward. We've had a lot of discussions with them, especially for the food and beverage people. There's been a lot of underreporting in that area. In 2010, revenue from excise formed 3.4% of the domestic tax revenue. But this has been falling to the extent that by 2017, we had fallen to 1.9%.
He said government have initiated moves to help them recover the cost of the machines.
Given an accelerated capital allowance regime for the purpose. Now for the first year, they qualify for 50% capital allowance, and the second year, 50% capital allowance. So when these numbers improve, we expect that these issues will be there too.
The Minister of Finance said revenue is needed to develop the economy.
Well, so 2013 to now, what have you been doing about it? Let's put back the responsibility, on people when they ask questions. In other Western countries, who pays for these machines?
Goods expected to be affected by the excise stamp policy include tobacco products, bottled or canned alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, as well as bottled water.
Well, so to implement or not to implement, March 1 will tell. Let's do telecommunications, as Vodafone Ghana has commissioned a refurbished retail store in Tamale in the northern region. Now, the new shop has been redesigned to meet Vodafone's global retail standards.
The new shop has an internet cafe, improved queue management system, a live experience zone, and an enterprise customer lounge equipped with video conferencing facilities to serve customers. She noted the opening of the shop in Tamale demonstrates Vodafone's relentless efforts at meeting customers' needs. She promised Vodafone's readiness to assist its customers navigate through the uncertain world of technology. The cafe, which opens from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, has fixed broadband and internet and provides other services including Vodafone cash transfer, wholesale and retail of recharge cards.
Right, so talking about the launched S9 phone there, my colleague Alfred Okansi is in Barcelona to give us the latest detail. What is really happening after the launch? Well, Alfred,
hi,
good to have you tonight.
Well, it's good to also join you right here from Barcelona.
Okay, so tell us, how is the new phone catching up? How has the launch been so far afterwards?
It's been amazing. The level of anticipation that greeted this launch of the S9 and S9 Plus as the latest additions to the Samsung Galaxy family has proven to be amazing and lived up to expectations. Yesterday, we witnessed live the unveiled 2018 event, which is Samsung's very traditional event that precedes the Mobile World Congress every other year. And yesterday was no different. That's where they unveiled the S9 and the S9 Plus. And so far, the response has been amazing. Today is day one of the Mobile World Congress. Thousands of people visited the Samsung stands to get a glimpse of the mobile device, that's the S9 and S9 Plus, that they introduced to the market, to have a look and feel of it and what the future has been talking about so far. Now, both the S9 and the S9 Plus refine the Galaxy's already mature design, introduces other nice innovations, including what they call the intelligence of things. Previously, we were all fixated on the Internet of Things. Now, this S9 and S9 Plus has an added-on intelligence features to it. That's what Samsung is talking about. One of the things in the iPad as well is the camera, because the S9 Plus has two cameras now, so that gives you dual that's the mobile experience. Also, they talk about the AR emoji, which means that you can create an emoji of yourself. Additionally, Samsung has added improvements to the Dex app. The Dex app is an app that connects the phone to a keyboard and monitor to a desktop-like experience. So you can actually connect the phone to your desktop and still do your typing and every other thing, still see it on the monitor. So that's what's going to happen here on day one. So really, anticipation that created this particular S9 Plus one has proven to be worth it. I'm joined here by Peter Akaba. He is the editor in charge of business at KTN in Kenya. Peter, thank you so much for joining us live on Tuesday in Ghana. What will be your assessment?
Well, I'm sure we'll get back to my colleague Alfred because we're having a little challenge with the sound there. So I'm sure in subsequent bulletins we'll get in touch with you, Alfred, so that we have that interaction talking about the launch of the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus at Fira de Barcelona, there where all the action, all the excitement happened, having no family member of the Samsung group. So we'll be joining Alfred later on in subsequent bulletins for more. But that will do for Business Tonight. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. It's still News 360. Stay with us.
Right, welcome back. Let's do some MTN video reporting now, or what we call citizen journalism. And tonight we're going to experience how some Ghanaians in the Kaswa area are talking about lack of potable water.
As you can see, this area, you don't have pipe-borne water here. That is the water we use. We use for cooking. That is use to do everything you like. See the color. See the color. It's not good for one being to take. But that's the one you are taking. So we are pleading with the government. To come to our aim. To help us. Animals also taking the same thing with us. It's not fair. Reporting. Kaswa, Ofanko, opposite Nurses Quarters.
Well, and that came in by courtesy of MTN video reporting. I'm sure you can do your own in your area, and we shall show them on TV3.
And in entertainment news this evening, the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards will be aired exclusively on TV3 and all other Media General platforms, 3FM, Onua FM, Connect FM and Akoma FM. Now, the move is in line with MG's commitment to ensure cherished viewers don't miss out on the all-exciting awards and the euphoria surrounding it. A report by Oso Rai.
Ghana's leading media conglomerate, Media General, has gone into a major partnering with Charterhouse, organizers of the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards VGMA, to show the prestigious awards live on your screens.
Well, Media General and Charterhouse are happy to announce a partnership that would allow millions of Ghanaians across the country unlimited access to the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, which is slated for the 14th of April 2018.
What this means for viewers of TV3 is that you get to enjoy the full 360 experience of the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards exclusively on TV3.
The VGMA board will on Friday, March 2, unveil the much-awaited list of nominees for the 19th awards event. For a start, TV3 will bring to viewers a live experience of the much-awaited moment.
You can tune in from Friday, the 2nd of March, to get exclusive access to the announcement of the nominees for this year's event. And we'll bring you news from the launch, as from the launch party taking place on Saturday and moving pick as well.
Through the partnership, viewers of TV3 will have unlimited access to all VGMA 2018 coverage, including exclusive access to the pre-event nominees jam in Cape Coast, the red carpet on the main night, as well as full access to the live awards night coverage scheduled for 14th April.
The things that go into making the event happen, and all the oohs and ahs and the reactions from the winners and all of that. So TV3 bringing you all that access, and of course you can watch the main event live on TV3 from beginning to end as well. And to climax it, TV3 will bringing you live access from the celebration jam, which will be done in Tema on the 28th of April as well. So it's a full 360 experience of the Vodafone Ghana Music Award.
The move, the group CEO of Media General, Pearl Ishiamensa, noted, is in line with the company's commitment to treat viewers to exciting content while supporting the local creative arts industry.
TV3, Ghana's leading TV station, we believe in promoting our own. Over the years, we have led the industry in supporting the creative arts industry. We've promoted local content across music, drama, movies, news and current affairs. For our viewers, it's an exciting time, hours of entertaining and engaging content. And for our partners and advertisers, it's a unique opportunity for them to have a platform to engage with their audience. So I think overall it's going to be an exciting time for everybody.
A memorandum of understanding was signed to symbolize the partnership. For all the golden moments, behind the scene reactions, as well as the glamour which the VGMA comes with, stay with TV3.
Right, more exciting times ahead on TV3. Coming up next, the world news.
A UN envoy has warned that Burundi is not ready to hold credible elections. Michael Kafando told the UN Security Council that the ruling party and its allies remain firmly in control of political life and tensions remain high. Only the majority party and some other allied political groups are able to conduct unobstructed political activities. In 2015, Burundi was plunged into crisis when Pierre Nkurunziza's successful bid for re-election to a third term sparked protests by opposition supporters who said the move was unconstitutional.
Well, that's all for News 360 tonight. My name is Rose Corti.
I'm Isa Moni. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.